and avoid secondhand smoke and other tobacco products. Eat healthy, varied diet rich in fruits and vegetables. You know, I'm always telling you, fruits, vegetable, plant-based, water-based. I'm always telling you that. Maintain a healthy diet and exercise regularly. And stay out of the sun as much as you can. Don't go out and say, I'm getting me a suntan. Okay, well, you better get some lotion. And just, you know, I know a lot of people have occupations where they're in the sun. Well, if you're going to be in the sun all day, please, please, please use sunscreen. Okay? A lot of times I see construction workers, and a lot of this, they're so tan. They're so tan that I'm saying to myself, I hope they're using, you know, I really, really hope they're using sunscreen. Drink alcohol only in moderation. You don't need to get drunk every single day. Be aware of potential cancer-causing substances, carcinogens in your home and workplace, and take steps to reduce your exposure to these substances. Know and review your family's history, because whatever we know early, we can have it checked out early. This is something that was pretty deep to me, unintentional injuries. That's the number 3, the number 3 cause of deaths in men. Unintentional injuries are simply accidents. This is a leading cause of death for men in Americans of all ages and all around the world. I just can't say Americans anymore because people are listening all around the world. Many unintentional injuries can easily be prevented. Injuries in these categories, for example, injuries due to falls, fires, and impaired driving. So, say for instance, if you know you're tired and you're falling asleep behind the wheel because you're tired, pull over, go to sleep. Pull over, get to the closest rest stop. Don't let your eyes, start to, you're going in and out. You're going in and out of sleep and you're on the road. Do not end up killing yourself. I've actually known people that have been in car accidents because they fell asleep behind the wheel and they didn't make it. They didn't make it. Another thing too is don't drive drunk, because guess what? It doesn't mean that you have to die from it. But what if you woke up and you were paralyzed from the neck down, and that really was going to be the quality of life for you? And I hope I'm just saying these things today, not to scare you, but for you to wake up, because we love you and we need you here. And if this is the only way to get you here, then it's going to take a lot of research and getting back to you in this series, which is the last one in the series. Then it is what it is. Let's look at statistics and unintentional injuries, were the leading cause of deaths in men ages 1 to 44. That's the male race. And the 5th leading cause of death overall. More than 106,000 people died in 2002 from unintentional injuries, according to the CDC. Men are more likely to die from a fall. After adjusting for age, the fall fatality rate in 2004 was 49% higher for men than for women. Residential fires accounted for 76% of fire-related injuries and 79% of fire-related deaths in 2002. And this year alone, more than 401,000 home fires in the United States claimed the lives of 2,670 people and injured another 14,050. But now we have all of these wildfires. We have all these fires all through California raging, and we're losing more people. We're losing more and more people because of all of these different things that are going on. Okay? So it's something for you to think about. Okay? Male drivers involved in fatal motor vehicle crashes are almost twice as likely as female drivers to be intoxicated with a blood concentration alcohol level of 0.08% or greater. Okay? According to NHTSA, it's illegal to drive with a blood point alcohol concentration of 0.08% or higher in all 50 states. You cannot, and you should not, and you shouldn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Know your limit. Know what your limit is. If just say, for instance, that you don't have a high tolerance for alcohol, just sip a little bit and make sure you're okay. And if you have to have a breath analyzer in your vehicle before you drive, then do so. Do so. Everyone should. If you're going to drink and drive, which I don't suggest, if some people say, oh, I just had a social drink. Okay, well, like for me, for instance, if I have a glass of wine, I'm intoxicated. Off of one glass of wine, I am so intoxicated. So I know I'm not driving. And so what I do, if we go out, I just don't drink. I don't drink. People used to think, oh, wow. I would go out, me and my husband would go out, and I'd be drinking cranberry juice. And people would think, oh, my gosh, she's getting wasted. Well, why is she the one that's going to drive? I'm taking all keys. I'm driving everybody home. I'm driving home. You're not driving me. I'm driving you. You've been drinking. I saw you drinking. So I'm always a designated driver because I want to be around, and I want people I love to be around. Driving while distracted or tired. So, these are for people, our cell phone users. And we see people all day, every day on their cell phones, texting on their cell phones, getting a message on their cell phones, reading and driving. And it only takes less than a half a second for another car to get in your way. Because when you're driving, you have to drive for other people. You're not just driving for yourself. You're driving for other people. And like I said, it's just say, for instance, if a child should dart out in front of your car and that child wasn't there a second ago, but they're running and the child is unattended and they're running to get a ball. Well, just in that 1 second, bam, you just hurt that child or you killed that child, but the child wasn't there before. They just happened to run out in the street. And that's the reason why you don't need to be on your cell phone and driving. You need to put the phone down. Whatever it is, it can wait. And then also, not everybody is fortunate enough to have newer model vehicles where everything can go through the dashboard of the car and talk to you. So if you don't have one of those cars, you just have to put the phone down. I'm sorry. It gets busy for me. Even my phone is ringing. I don't even know how to say that, but even my phone just rang. So that's something for us to think about. Put the phones down. Don't just think that you can just, it's not going to happen to me, because it is going to happen. If you continue to behavior, it will happen to you. Okay? So let's think about that. So what could be in terms of prevention of falls? The CDC recommends the following preventative steps for older adults, because a lot of older adults, they will fall. Okay, their bones and things of that nature, they're not as strong as they used to be. They're not. Okay, so a lot of people fall, and we don't want people to be falling and breaking bones, or no one even to know that you broke your bones. Okay, so one of the things that a lot of older adults are doing is Tai Chi. And that increases the strength, improves balance, especially is especially good for older people. And if you're older, drink only in moderation. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to review your medicines. Make sure that you don't have anything that's going to have a reduced side effect or interaction in your medication. Because a lot of people, they'll take medication and something will happen to them behind the wheel, and they'll say they were driving drunk. No, they had an interaction with their medication or a side effect. Have your eyes checked by an eye doctor at least once a year. Improve the lighting in your home. Trust and believe, if you got low lighting or bad lighting and you just step across something or fall or you trip over something, that could lead to a head injury. A lot of older adults, they die from head injuries, from falls, or they really end up severely hurt from a hip injury. And as you get older, it's harder and it takes more time for you to heal. It really does, okay? So also the unintentional fires, okay? There's risks around that, about fires, unintentional injury due to fires, okay? And some things that we must do and should do, because we lose a lot of people to fires, install smoke alarms, okay? Approximately half of the homes where people die in fires, they don't have a smoke alarm. So we know now we have alarm systems with smoke alarms in now. Well, make sure if you get one that you have that feature turned on. Double check the safety of heating units. Most residential fires occur during the winter months. So make sure that you've gotten your furnace checked and serviced every single year. Every year. How do you know that you're not leaking gas if you have a gas furnace? How do you know something's not wrong? Drink in moderation. Also, alcohol use contributes to an estimated 40% of residential fire deaths, because sometimes people, they fall asleep and they can't wake up. They can't wake up on their own. They have to wait until they come out of the stupor of drinking. Just yesterday on the local news in our city, a man suffered burns over 50% of his body in a fire at home. It was on the news. It did not state the cause of the fire, but it did state he was rescued by two Good Samaritans. I don't know the details, but he was in ICU with severe burns over 50% of his body. Okay, I don't know if any of this above reasons that any of the above stuff that I was stating to you was the reason why, but we want to say keep our men around. All we're saying is don't do this. Okay, don't just keep. Prevention is everything, and it's not always just going to the doctor. Prevention is what you do around your home, keeping your home safe. Are you making sure your home is safe for you? Are you making sure that your home is safe of fires? Or you're going to know if you have a fire in time so you can get out on time. That's all I need to say about that part. Number 4 is stroke. A stroke occurs when blood flow to an area of the brain is interrupted by either a blood clot blocking an artery or a blood vessel breaking. Under these conditions, brain cells begin to die and brain damage occurs. Brain damage from a stroke can lead to a loss of abilities, including speech, movement, and also memory. The statistics on that is we're looking at a study. It's a little older, but it was so good. And so in 2004, more than 58,000 men died of stroke, and that was according to the American Heart Association. Okay, about 700,000 people suffer a new or recurrent stroke in the United States each year, and more than 150,000 of these people die, according to the American Heart Association. About 5.7 million U.S. stroke survivors are alive today, many with permanent stroke-related disabilities, according to the American Heart Association. And I know what that's like. My sister-in-law, my brother's wife, she had a stroke, and I'll never forget it. One day, she went to pour some cereal. She had to learn to do everything all over again. She thought she had cereal in the bowl. She didn't have any cereal in the bowl. She didn't have any milk in the bowl. She was just eating as if it was there, and she thought she was feeding herself. And that was because it was symptoms of a stroke. So what we're saying is that let's be careful about what we do. So the National Stroke Association lists the following as common symptoms of stroke. But again, let's be careful about how we treat our bodies, and let's pay attention to the symptoms. So if you're suffering sudden numbness or weakness in the face, arm, or legs, especially on one side of the body, sudden confusion, trouble speaking or understanding, sudden trouble seeing in one or both eyes, sudden trouble walking, dizziness, loss of balance or coordination, sudden severe headaches with no known cause. That's something. Try to remember these. Remember this. It's called FAST, F-A-S-T. If you think someone you know is having a stroke, stick to this. The F is for face. Ask the person to smile. Does one side of the face droop? The A is for arm. Ask the person to raise both arms. Does one arm drift downward? S is for speech. Ask the person to repeat to you a simple system. I'm sorry, just bear with me. I'm tongue-tied. I admit it. Does the speech sound slurred or strange? So if this person just say, hey, look, go and walk the cat, and see if they can repeat, go and walk the cat, without it sounding slurred or strange. It doesn't have to be that. I'm just making an example. Time. If you observe any of these signs, it's time for you to call 911 immediately, or get them to the nearest stroke center or hospital. That's what we call FAST. F for face, A for arm, S for speech, and T for time. Your thing is time. That's what you're going to act on, ASAP. Okay, and I will be posting that online so you can get to it. According to the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, the leading factor for stroke includes high blood pressure untreated. So you have high blood pressure. Make sure you're seeing your doctor on a normal basis. You have to. Tobacco use, diabetes. Again, seeing that doctor on a normal basis and making sure that you're getting checked. Continuing care. Carotid or artery disease. Atrial fibrillation or other heart diseases. History of many strokes known as TIAs. High red blood cell counts. Sickle cell anemia. High cholesterol. Physical inactivity. Obesity. Excessive alcohol intake. And some illegal drugs. If you're dealing with any of those different things, These are risk factors for stroke, okay? And it's very important.